Okay, so it's story time, and we are continuing to read from the Jesus Storybook Bible. So if you have a copy at home and you want to read along, feel free. Today's story is called The Singer. And this story is all about when Jesus was talking to people and teaching them about God. And we call this the Sermon on the Mount, because Jesus went up to a mount on the top of a mountain so that everyone could see him and hear him. And it's a very famous part of Jesus's teaching. So let's see what Jesus taught. So, the singer. Wherever Jesus went, lots of people went too. They loved being near him. Old people, young people, all kinds of people came to see Jesus. Sick people, well people, happy people, sad people, and worried people. Lots of them, worrying about lots of things. What if we don't have enough food or clothes, or suppose we run out of money? What if there isn't enough and everything goes wrong and we won't be all right? What then? When Jesus saw all the people, his heart was filled with love for them. They were like a little flock of sheep that didn't have a shepherd to take care of them. So Jesus sat them all down and he talked to them. The people sat quietly on the grassy mountainside and listened. From where they sat, they could see the blue lake glittering below them and little fishing boats coming in from a night's catch. The spring air was fresh and clear. See those birds over there, Jesus said. Everyone looked. Little sparrows were pecking at seeds on the stony path. Where do they get their food? Perhaps they have pantries all stocked up, cabinets full of food. Everyone laughed. Who had ever seen a bird with a bag of groceries? No, Jesus said, they don't need to worry about that, because God knows what they need and he feeds them. And what about these wild flowers? Everyone looked. All around them flowers were growing. Roses, daisies, pure white lilies. Where do they get their lovely clothes? Do they make them? Or do they go to work every day so they can buy them? Do they have cupboards full of clothes? Everyone laughed again. Who had ever seen a flower putting on a dress? No, Jesus said, they don't need to worry about that, because God clothes them in royal robes of splendour. Not even a king is that well dressed. They had never met a king, but as they gazed out over the lake, glittering and sparkling below them, the hillsides dressed in reds and purples and golds, they felt a great burden lift from their hearts. They could not imagine anything more beautiful. Little flock, Jesus told them, you are more important than the birds, more important than flowers. The birds and the flowers don't sit and worry about things, and God doesn't want his children to worry either. God loves to look after the birds and the flowers, and he loves to look after you too. Jesus knew that God would always love and watch over the world he had made. Everything in it, birds, flowers, trees, animals, everything. And most of all his children. Even though people had forgotten, the birds and the flowers hadn't forgotten, they still knew their song. It was the song of all God's creation had sung to him from the very beginning. It was the song people's hearts were made to sing. God made us. He loves us. He's very pleased with us. This is why Jesus had come into the world, to sing them that wonderful song, to sing it not only with his voice, but with his whole life, so that God's children could remember it and join in and sing it too. Well done. Good listening. Are you ready for the 3 questions we always ask after the story? Here's my first question. What was your favourite part of the story? Tell whoever you are with now. And now, what do you think is the most important part of that story? And lastly, where would you be in that story? My favourite part of the story this week is that Jesus and God loves us all so much, and we don't have to worry about things. We can rely on him. And I love the bit where Jesus was telling everyone why he had come to earth and how much God loved them and how pleased he was with them. I think if I was in that story, I'd be one of those people on the hillside, probably having a worry about something, but I hope I would have heard Jesus' words and understood a bit more about what God was like.